Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Before that, I'd like to thank to the Almighty God. It is because of him we are all able to make and share this presentation. And also I'd like to thank to Mr. Alpha for giving us this very special opportunity to make this presentation and discuss it together. Good morning everyone. I'm not alone over here because I'm with my friend Ghina Humaira Nurvan to discuss differences in aspect of languages between US, UK, and Indonesia. Next. Difference between UK and US English. Next. The first is accent and dialect. Of all the differences between British English and American English, US and UK accent are the one that stands out the most. Actually, difference in accent or accent of speech are not uncommon. In fact, both in America and in England, the accent used in different. For example, the Los Angeles accent and the New York accent are slightly different. While in England, Londoners may have a different accent than Britons living in Manchester. Next. The most striking difference between the two English languages is the pronunciation of the letter R. Americans still pronounce the letter R in every word they say. While Brits don't, the letter R in British English is not it is only read if it is at the beginning of a word. The second one is vocabulary. Another striking difference between US and UK languages is the choice of vocabulary. Yes, there are quite a few things that have different vocabularies in these two English language. For example, in American English, a mailbox is called a mailbox. In fact, in British English, a mailbox is called a postbox. Not only that, in American English, apartments are called apartments. Meanwhile, flat is a word used in British English to describe the same thing. Next. Next is writing. Although there are only slight differences, the writing in American English and British English is also different. This difference does not exist in every word, but it is important for you to know it so that you can write the right word when using one of these English languages. For example, in British English, color and behavior are written with color and behavior. Meanwhile, the words theater, matter, and center are written with theater, matter, and center. You can see on that presentation, on that PowerPoint. There are many other words that have different spelling in the two English languages. Find out more to find out all the differences in this write-up. Next. The next one is grammar. The grammar or what is used in these two languages to communicate every day is also quite different. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong because it's just a matter of habit. For example, Americans are used to using the past simple tense to describe an event that just happened. Meanwhile, English people prefer to explain the same thing in the present perfect tense. For example, Americans would say, I went to the theater, while the British would say, I've been to the theater. Next. In American English, collective nouns are considered singular. For example, the band is playing. In contrast, collective nouns can be either singular or plural in British English, although the plural form is most often used. For example, the band are playing. The British are also more likely to use formal speech, such as shall, whereas Americans favor the more informal will or should. Americans, however, continue to use gotten as the past participle of get, which the British have long since dropped in favor of got. Next. Needn't, which is commonly used in British English, is rarely, if at all, used in American English. Its place is don't need to. In British English, "at" is the preposition in relation to time and place. However, in American English, "on" is used instead of the former and "in" for the latter. Next. For the next material will be served by Ghina.
Okay, can you hear my voice clear?
Yes, your voice is clear.
Okay. So next one is difference between English and Bahasa Indonesia. The first one is pronoun. English will experience changes in the singular pronoun when it becomes the subject or object. Meanwhile, the Indonesian language will not experience these changes either as a subject or as an object. To make it easier for you to understand, take a look at the following example. The first example is he buys fruit at the market. That one is in English. In Indonesia, dia, which implied laki-laki or man, membeli buah di pasar. The second example is Falah gives her a car key. And in Indonesian, Falah memberikan dia, perempuan, sebuah kunci mobil. In English, singular pronouns will undergo changes, such as he, subject, which will change to his, object, and she, subject, which will change to her, object. Next one is syntax. Syntax is the arrangement of words in a sentence. In English and Indonesian, there are similarities when used in simple phrases. However, the two will be very different when in the form of questions and adjective phrases. For example, in an English interrogative sentence that starts with 5W1H, who, what, when, why, where, how, which is then followed by a verb and then a subject. In yes or no questions, the interrogative sentence in English will start with the verb followed by the subject. Where are you going? Or are you going? While in Indonesian, the question will start with the subject. Kamu mau pergi kemana? Atau kamu mau pergi? For adjective phrases in these two languages have opposite rules. In English, the adjective comes before the noun, but in Indonesian, the noun comes at the beginning. Example, fast car or mobil cepat, and classy guy or pria berkelas. From the two examples above, the sentence structure for fast car and classy guy will change when translated into Indonesian. The fast car turns into a fast car, while the classy guy turns into a classy man. Next one is plural form. To describe more than one object or plural, Indonesian is indeed easier to learn. You only need to do repetitions like children, car, or by adding plural auxiliary words such as many cars, a number of residents, and volunteers. The English form of the plural word is a bit more confusing. Plurals in English fall into two categories. First one is regular plural noun. Just need to add s or es like cars, pages, books, paintings, matches, glasses, and others. Next up, irregular plural nouns. For this section, there is no definite formula that determines it. Some have undergone minor changes, such as woman, women, wolf, wolves, knife, knives. Or some have experienced more changes such as child, children, person, people, foot, feet, mouse, mice. Then there are changes that sounds different like cactus, cacti, phenomenon, phenomena. There are also words that do not need to be changed when they are plural, such as species, sheep, deer, or offspring. Next one is verb tenses. English has different verbs that depend on the time of occurrence and can be classified as regular or irregular verbs. For that, English has 16 different tenses. While in Indonesian, the use of verbs doesn't have a difference in time of occurrence, whether it is for the past, present, or at any time, the verb use will remain the same. The first example, in English, I am driving a bus. In Indonesian, saya menyetir sebuah bus. The second example, in English, she has drove a bus. In Indonesian, Dia sudah menyetir sebuah bus. Example 3, Ghina will drive a bus. In Indonesia, Ghina akan menyetir sebuah bus. Okay, the last one is passive versus active. Indonesian and English both use active and passive sentences. However, the passive voice is more often used in Indonesian, while English refers to the active form, especially if the focus is on the object. For example, the last slice of cake was eaten by my mother. The example of the passive sentence above will certainly sound long-winded and ineffective compared to using the active form as follows. My mother ate the last slice of cake.
Okay, guys, I think enough for today's presentation. I hope you are all enjoying it and can absorb a lot of information from our presentation. Thanks for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.